will you commit that the Justice Department, under your leadership, if confirmed, will respect the importance of a free press?
Absolutely.
And if the president or the, depends on who the FBI director is, I have some strong views on that, tries to push to go after the media, how would you respond to that?
I have not, clearly he's made some statements, but I haven't talked to Mr. Patel about those statements. But going after the media just because they're the media is wrong, of course.
What we witnessed today was nothing less than astonishing. Furthermore, we have additional live footage forthcoming. Pam Bondi entered the hearing room with an assured smile. However, Senator Amy Klobuchar swiftly removed any semblance of normalcy, transforming the moment into a rigorous examination of the very essence of the Department of Justice. This was not merely a ceremonial series of confirmation inquiries. It represented a pointed confrontation regarding whether Bondi is genuinely equipped to uphold justice or merely act as a political loyalist protecting her associates. Klobuchar immediately established the tone, anchoring her inquiries in the realities faced by frontline prosecutors, the individuals who are removing fentanyl from the streets, dismantling violent gangs, and advocating for civil rights in the aftermath of George Floyd's murder, clarifying that this hearing transcended Bondi's smile. It was fundamentally about the future of justice itself.
Senator Klobuchar.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for mentioning antitrust. I'm really proud of the work you and I have done together, as well as Senator Lee and I. And I know we discussed with you, Ms. Bondi, the work on allowing state AGs, a bill that Senator Lee led, and I was the Democratic lead on letting state AGs keep the antitrust cases involving tech in their states. And Senator Grassley and I successfully passed our bill to finally update the merger fees, which have allowed larger mergers have to pay in more, smaller mergers less, and that has led, along with other reasons, to beef up the antitrust division of antitrust during the last few years. And I want to make sure that you are committed to continuing a strong antitrust division with adequate personnel.
And if I am confirmed, I intend on bringing in Gail Slater. She is amazing, and I think bipartisan support for her, and did a lot of antitrust. Well, I had someone who knew antitrust much better than I when I was state attorney general, and it's very important.
But how about the resources for the division? It has been under this administration, the current outgoing one, they have added lawyers and others to it. And my question was is if you'll continue that.
Yes, I was actually looking at the structure of that unit, and if I am confirmed, I've been a little busy. I plan on working with Gail Slater and all the lawyers in that unit.
Okay. And then just you and I discussed some of the important cases, the Google case, Live Nation, Ticketmaster, the Apple case, I don't know if we talked about that one, but RealPage. And will you commit to continue these cases and to pursue remedies that will fully protect consumers from anti-competitive conduct? I'm not asking what the result will be. I can imagine you couldn't answer that, but I'm just asking that if you are confirmed that you will continue the work on these cases.
Yes, Senator, I haven't looked at those on a case-by-case basis, but I'm committed to that type of case and protecting consumers. And I will look at that and have that unit look at that right away.
Thank you. At its founding in 1870, the Justice Department's priority was to enforce civil rights. That's what was founded, the reason guaranteed by the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments during Reconstruction. Today, civil rights enforcement is led by the Civil Rights Division. Do you believe it is a critical mission of the Justice Department to vigorously enforce our nation's civil rights laws?
Yes, Senator.
Okay, thank you. Voting rights. Will you commit to properly enforcing federal laws that protect the right to vote that are critical to ensuring free and fair elections, like the Voting Rights Act?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. We're back to the FBI nominee. Again, I express my deep concern, Kash Patel. He has vowed to retaliate against the president-elect's enemies, quote, not just in the government, but in the media, end quote. As we know, the president-elect has already sued a pollster in Iowa whose predictions turned out to be wrong, which happens with pollsters all over the place, as we all know. But a free press is essential to our democracy. Reporters must be able to do their job without fear of being investigated or prosecuted. Will you commit that the Justice Department, under your leadership, if confirmed, will respect the importance of a free press?
Absolutely.
And if the president or the depends on who the FBI director is, I have some strong views on that, tries to push to go after the media, how would you respond to that?
I have not, clearly he's made some statements, but I haven't talked to Mr. Patel about those statements. But going after the media just because they're the media is wrong, of course.
All right, thank you.
What we just heard was unbelievable. A confirmation hearing is supposed to be a serious test to see if someone can rise above politics and serve the law fairly. But when Pam Bondi faced the Senate Judiciary Committee, it felt less like a normal hearing and more like a fight over the future of the Department of Justice. From the first question to the last, one big issue came up again and again. Will Pam Bondi stand for justice, or will she stand for politics? She walked into the room full of confidence, smiling at cameras, shaking hands like it was all routine. But Senator Amy Klobuchar quickly made it clear this wasn't going to be business as usual. This was going to be a real test of whether Bondi could stay independent when the pressure comes. Klobuchar started by asking about frontline prosecutors, the people actually doing the tough work, getting fentanyl off the streets, stopping violent gangs, and fighting for civil rights after George Floyd's murder. Bondi praised their work and promised support. On the surface, it sounded good. But here's the problem. Saying the right words is easy. Proving it when political pressure comes from the top is the real test. Then Klobuchar hit the big question: independence. Would Bondi enforce the law based on facts or cave when the White House or political allies leaned on her? History shows the biggest danger to the DOJ is political interference. Past attorneys general knew one thing was sacred: the White House cannot meddle in criminal cases. No backroom deals, no secret calls. That wall is what keeps the DOJ from being turned into a political weapon. Bondi said the line everyone expected. Yes, the DOJ must be independent. Yes, she'll follow the facts. But words are cheap. This is the same Pam Bondi who spent years defending Trump's circle, raising concerns about conflicts of interest. Now, in front of cameras, she wants the public to believe she'll suddenly transform into a neutral guardian of justice. That's like asking a fox to guard the henhouse. The cracks deepened when Klobuchar brought up Kash Patel, a close Trump ally floated for a top DOJ role. Patel has attacked the FBI's intelligence division, the unit that handles terrorism, espionage, and cyber threats, calling it the FBI's biggest problem and even suggesting it should be dismantled. Think about that. Taking apart the very team that protects America from terrorists and spies isn't reform, it's sabotage. Klobuchar pressed Bondi on whether she agreed. Bondi dodged, saying she hadn't read those comments but would follow the law. That wasn't an answer, it was an escape. The real question was whether she had the backbone to stand up to dangerous voices in her own circle. Then came healthcare. Klobuchar asked about Medicare's new power to negotiate drug prices, which saves seniors billions. Big Pharma hates it and is suing to kill it. Would Bondi defend the law even if the president didn't like it? Bondi said yes, but her record tells another story. She fought the Affordable Care Act and joined lawsuits to dismantle it completely. Now she wants to pose as a defender of senior savings? That doesn't add up. And there's more. The Supreme Court is about to review ACA preventive services, things like cancer screenings and birth control. Millions depend on them. But Bondi once supported wiping out the entire ACA. So when she now claims she'll defend preventive care, it's hard to believe. It's like someone burning down your house one year and then promising to guard the porch the next. Finally, reproductive rights. Klobuchar asked if she would enforce the FACE Act, a law that protects clinics from violence and harassment. Bondi said yes, but added that it should apply equally to pregnancy centers. On the surface, it sounded balanced. In reality, it twisted the purpose of the law. The FACE Act was written because abortion clinics were under constant, sometimes deadly, attack. Diluting that urgency ignores why the law exists in the first place. By the time Klobuchar finished, the pattern was clear. On DOJ independence, Bondi gave platitudes. On FBI security, she dodged. On Medicare drug prices, she contradicted her record. On ACA protections, she flipped. On reproductive rights, she blurred the issue. Over and over, the same playbook. Vague promises, careful wording, and no real commitments. Hearings aren't about nice words. They're about trust. And when you line up Bondi's answers against her past, the contradictions shout louder than the promises. Pam Bondi wants to look like the guardian of justice, but her record says otherwise. She's been a loyal soldier for political allies, not an independent defender of the law. This isn't just about one nominee. The Attorney General isn't just another cabinet member. They decide if laws are enforced fairly, if corruption is punished, if rights are protected, and if America's justice system stays independent or becomes just another political weapon. That's why Klobuchar kept pressing one core question. Who will Pam Bondi really serve, the people or the powerful? Justice or politics? The answer matters because the firewall between politics and the DOJ is fragile. Once it's broken, it's almost impossible to repair. And history shows what happens when it collapses. Justice becomes a tool of power, not protection. So ask yourself, do Bondi's vague promises outweigh her record? Or is this just another performance to get through the hearing? Because the stakes couldn't be higher. The Attorney General decides whether the rule of law survives the storm or sinks under it.